December 7th, 2020. Today we recall an event that changed the course of history in the United States of America forever. December 7th, 1941 was a day of tragedy, sacrifice, and heroism that united a nation. It was a day that lives on in infamy. Men and women who were on peacetime duty at 7:54 a.m. became war heroes at 7:55. In less than 2 hours, more than 2,400 service members were killed and hundreds more were wounded, and a large part of our naval fleet was damaged or sunk. And along with the death and destruction, America's dream of a world where peace and freedom were enjoyed by everyone ended abruptly. Nearly 80 years ago today, the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor by the Empire of Japan awoke a sleeping giant, and with it, both tested the will of the American people like never before and produced what has been called the greatest generation. On this National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, let us take a moment to honor and be inspired by all who served and remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice while fighting to preserve our nation's freedom. President Franklin D. Roosevelt's address to Congress the day after Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor, declaring our nation at war, is perhaps the most iconic speech in American history. Particularly, Roosevelt's famous line describing the horrific attack the prior day. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. We recall the events of December 7th, 1941, but more importantly remember the thousands of soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who died during that terrible ambush and in the years that followed. President Roosevelt spoke with prophetic words when he stated, "No matter how long it may take us to overcome the premeditated invasion, the American people, in their righteous might, will win through to absolute victory. With unbounding determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph. So help us God." America had never been so gravely wounded, but was strengthened by its enduring values of freedom, tolerance, and service. The long odds that we faced during the dark days that followed the attack on Pearl Harbor served to fuel the indomitable spirit of our nation. We united together, steadfast, with one goal in our mind, to do whatever it would take to defend their home and freedom. The lesson learned on December 7th, 1941 is just as meaningful today. Only the weak are ever attacked. Peace belongs to those prepared to defend it and, if necessary, to fight for it. The lessons learned from the attack on Pearl Harbor kept our nation safe and secure for nearly 60 years. But the tragic events of 9/11 taught us to never let our guard down. Even while we enjoy an abundance of freedom, we are not exempt from danger. Pearl Harbor and September 11th proved one thing: our people may be attacked, our buildings destroyed, but our enemies will never be successful in crushing our democracy or destroying the American way of life. Today, we remember Pearl Harbor. We honor those who gave their lives there. We also reaffirm our resolve that there will be no more Pearl Harbors or 9/11s. Our collective response and ultimate victory in World War II sent a message to the world. America will never go quietly into the night. We will always fight back, and we will prevail. Today, though a great many survivors of the attack on Pearl Harbor and those who fought in World War II are no longer with us, we will always remember their contributions through service and their devotion to duty. Each page of America's history tells the story of the sacrifice the men and women of our armed forces have made, and each colorful page illustrates the legacy of their accomplishments. Along with freedom, there will always be a price paid. We are thankful for every service member willing to ensure evil and tyranny do not prevail. Their contributions, their sacrifice, their steadfast devotion to duty, God, country, and to their families have provided us with examples of true character we need to emulate every day of our lives. Today we continue to be inspired by their dignity and perseverance, and are strengthened by the memory of their actions. May we leave here equally resolved in our determination to serve our nation and fellow man as selflessly as they did. Thank you very much.